welcome to this panel debate and networking opportunity, which is presented jointly by the University of London and the Chartered Management Institute, or CMI for short. I'm Ian Myson. I'm a director at CMI, and I'm responsible for CMI's higher education partnerships and our international development. It's a great pleasure to be here with you on this quite warm evening. It's great to be here. Our theme for this evening is overcoming global challenges in your business. We have a top-notch panel here ready to debate that. They'll share their experiences of global business challenges and respond to your questions. So do please start thinking of some good questions during the next few minutes. And the topic is highly relevant with the University of London having recently launched its innovative Global MBA. The Global MBA is available to learners anywhere in the world via online learning and enables learners to build a global network and to collaborate with peers around the world. Academic direction is provided by Queen Mary, University of London, and the course is also accredited by CMI, with the result that learners obtain a CMI postgraduate level qualification in strategic management and leadership, as well as the MBA. We know from our research that 75% of employers want people to have a practical professional qualification as well as their academic qualifications. And students on the course also get access to a whole range of CMI membership benefits in terms of our online content, online mentoring opportunities, and also a whole range of career development tools. For those who don't know CMI, we're the only chartered professional body dedicated to raising standards of best practice in leadership and management in the UK. Our vision is simple: better led and managed organisations, and our mission, how we achieve it, is by increasing the quality and quantity of professionally qualified managers. We aim to eliminate the accidental manager, those who excel functionally, perhaps as great designers, IT professionals or engineers, but are then faced with the daunting task of managing and leading others on the path to success. Is this important? Well, it couldn't be more important, because bad management is the number one cause of the productivity gap in the UK, costing some 84 billion per year, and it clearly hampers economic and social progress worldwide. CMI has a membership community to which the university's Global MBA students belong, as I've mentioned, of some 150,000 people in over 160 countries. We partner with almost 100 universities in the UK and increasingly internationally to support employability and career development. And we strongly support young people having opportunities to study and work abroad and to develop their cross-cultural awareness. For every UK student studying or working abroad, there are currently 15 international students in the UK. For graduates to succeed, particularly in the post-Brexit world, as mentioned at Brexit evening, they will need international and cross-cultural knowledge. CMI's research into what employers want from graduates shows that employers expect graduates to appreciate cultural diversity, to have facility in universal business language, and to be familiar with globalization. However, in our research, nearly a quarter of employers rate graduates as weak in the area of global mindset and believe they lack the attributes to succeed in an increasingly interconnected world. So the university's Global MBA is a welcome and much needed initiative in an increasingly global business environment, and CMI is really delighted to be playing a part in adding value to it and engaging with the learners to help them develop their practical professional skills, as well as providing a framework for ongoing professional development in their careers. So to this evening's business. In terms of the running order for this evening, our panel session will occupy an hour until about 7:40, and there will then be further time for networking with drinks and canapes until about 8:30, so do please stay to take advantage of that. Our panel this evening is chaired by Michael Kerrison, on my right, Director of Educational Innovation and Development from the University of London International Programmes. I'll let him introduce the members of the distinguished panel, but their collective experience covers a range of global challenges, including such topics as the impact of digitisation on international business, talent management in a global context, developing and managing organisational culture generally and globally, the challenge of corruption in international markets, that sounds an interesting one, and identifying target markets and managing organisational change in global businesses. So we should be in for a very stimulating and thought-provoking hour. So many thanks for coming this evening. I hope you enjoy the evening and find it worthwhile. And I'll now hand over to Michael for our panel session. So many thanks.
Let's go.
Okay, thank you very much, Ian. Let me just add to Ian's warm welcome my own for, as Ian says, what I expect to be a very illuminating debate this evening. So I'm Mike Kerrison, as Ian said, Director of Education and Innovation Development here at the University of London. I'm fortunate to work in this building, and I'm responsible for the development of the academic programmes that we work on in collaboration with our member institutions, of which the Royal MBA is partnered with Queen Mary. I think the programme director is around in the room somewhere. He is there it is. I will move the road. And so we work together to try and make education available worldwide in over 180 countries. We have over 50,000 students, and we're really the first distance learning university that was created 159 years ago. So I'm really delighted to be here in my capacity as chair for this debate, and I will certainly try not to take very much of your time and go straight into an introduction of the four very talented speakers that we've got this evening, and they're going to be talking about the theme of overcoming global challenges in your business. So, in a slightly different order than I've got in my notes, so I'll flip my paper around. The first speaker tonight is going to be Andrew Halber, who's Director of Plumline Advisors Limited. He's also the Equal and Diversities Committee Chair and Board of Trustees member here at the University of London. Since 1994, Andrew has advised many Chinese corporates on their activities outside the People's Republic of China and Western corporates doing business in China. His clients have included Chinese telecoms giant ZTE, China Central Television, Axel and Noble, Costa Coffee, many more, including Jimmy Choo. No idea what they do, but I'm sure many of you in the audience do. Shoes, right? Yes. He qualified as a barrister in 1982, joined the Crown Council's office in Vancouver as a prosecutor, followed by some years in private practice at the bar, and served in the Canadian Diplomatic Service from 1989 to 94. Andrew spent a lot of his life in and around Beijing, living there from 1991 to 98, first as a diplomat and then as a lawyer. And from 1998 moved to London and joined a variety of leading law firms, acting as corporate partner and leading Chinese practices within there. He's also chairman of the British Refugee Council and has, as I said, time to work with the University of London as on their board of trustees, and had now in his previous service with City University of London. Our next speaker will be Maggie Buggy, Vice President, Global Sales Officer at Capgemini Digital. And Maggie holds corporate executives, helps corporate executives to transform their businesses, their enterprise, and increase their business performance through intelligent use of digital. Previously responsible for global cloud sales and consulting, and delivered a number of transformation programs and other consulting and technology service companies. Significant international experience to bring to tonight's panel, and particularly in growth platforms, and is executive sponsor for the Diversity at Capgemini initiative. Maggie is on the Companions Board of the Chartered Management Institute, and in 2013 was the winner of the Women in City Technology category, which was awarded in recognition of her achievements. And I believe in her free time, which clearly isn't that much, is an avid amateur horse racing.
I've just had my second
Right.
baby, so I'm not horse racing much at the moment. But yes, I'm not
Somebody,
recovering from having a baby, yes. I should
somebody
say.
tells me that you were a glorious people a few years ago, so it can't be that that's your answer. Our third speaker is Liz Jackson, MBE and Marketing Director. Liz has been described as an inspirational figure with an extraordinary story, and many discovered this when she was featured in Channel 4's Secret Millionaire series. Honoured by Her Majesty the Queen, Liz was awarded an MBE in 2007 for services to business, and in 2012 was awarded an honorary degree from Staffordshire University for her achievements and also for inspiring many others. Liz is an accomplished author, having published a book, Startup, providing valuable help and advice for entrepreneurs everywhere. And after running her own award-winning company, Great Guns Marketing, for 17 years, she launched the year that she actually lost her eyesight. Liz understands all of the pressures and challenges as a consequence that business owners face. Many business owners trade through recessions and overcome obstacles to build their business, and Liz knows this only too well through her experience, and strives to make sure that every business owner understands the value of the business that they own. Our final speaker, but by far not least, is Mike Johnson, who is the founder and CEO of Emergence, and also former Castrol Global CEO, and built on his 20-year track record of establishing and leading successes to breakthrough results in all regions of the world. Emergence focuses on emerging markets with a particular emphasis on the BRIC countries, and also strategies, organisations and culture required to run business in an increasingly competitive environment. Mike spent 20 years with Castrol, was global CEO from 2007 to 2013, when he more than doubled the profits of the $9 billion lubricants business, which employs 7,500 people in 60 countries. Prior to becoming CEO, he was Regional Vice President for Europe, Asia and the Pacific, based in Singapore, and also Vice President of Global Marketing. So Mike brings with him a significant track record, and also for those of you who might be interested, that Castrol also sponsored the Euro 2008, 2012, and FIFA World Cups of 2010 and 2014, which also include the sponsorship of David Beckham and Cristiano Ronaldo. Hopefully there's no Manchester United fans in the audience today. I won't ask. And also, Mike was telling me that he comes from a part of the world very close to me in Sunderland, so particularly welcome here tonight. And he will be free range on the stage, he tells me, so we'll look forward to that. So we've got a really stellar cast, I have to say. When I started the day, I felt I had a fairly important job and quite a busy time, but having read through the brief CVs of the panellists tonight, I actually feel pretty lazy. So we will try to get the best out of our panel that we can, which is partly my job. So what we've decided to do is give each of the speakers around 5 minutes to talk about their particular specialisms in the area, and then take questions from you on any particular areas that you find of interest. Please try and make that engaging, so think of your questions and get as much as you can out of them. We've got a roving mic there, so we'll use that. We'll give each of them 5 minutes, and at the end of each panellist's contribution, we'll obviously have some time for a general discussion about any areas that you find of interest. And as we're squeezing between the canapes and drinks, as Ian says, I will try and keep as lively and interactive as we can. So I'll ask Andrew now to either sit there and use that microphone, or by all means come up here. All right, thank you. Andrew.
I haven't said anything yet, but nice to be applauded anyway. My topic is ostensibly about corruption, but it's actually about culture. and I will explain why I think there's a relationship between the two. It sounds like we're starting on a down note. Why are we talking about corruption when we're talking about international business? It's a rather big issue, not just because we have something in this country called the Bribery Act, which is more sweeping than similar legislation in a lot of other jurisdictions, but also because it's a slippery slope, and if you fall into it, it really impedes any kind of sound development of business. So obviously it's an issue that one has to get one's head around. But for my money, you can't talk about corruption without talking about culture. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't mean certain cultures are corrupt, therefore they're bad. I don't mean that at all. Quite the reverse, actually. What we call corruption is, in most cases, not all, certainly, but on most quotidian, day-to-day cases, is a rational response by economic actors in their environment to the environment. And so before we simply criticize and say, well, you've got your driver paying £5, or the equivalent of £5, to get from Anhui province to the neighboring province in China, he's got to pay that to get across the provincial border. That's corruption. Is that the kind of thing we really want to jump on someone for? Well, I will explain in a couple of minutes how I feel about that and how things work in China. I am a fan of culture. I think culture is everything, and it's easy to get it wrong. There's no guarantee that, for example, speaking languages means you've got it right. I had a first degree in Chinese from Canada. When I moved to Beijing, I thought, in effect, well, I speak Chinese, so how complicated could this be? How difficult could this environment actually be? I thought I would get it, but actually it took several years of living there, struggling through the confrontation with the culture, with differences in culture, before I could finally get my head around it. I think be in a position to advise clients properly. Obviously, there's not a lot of time now in the introductory moments to say very much about this, but I would say, let me step back a little bit and discuss what are the drivers, the principal drivers in China which make doing business there so complicated. Obviously, there's a lack of transparency in laws. There is a lack of transparency in the banking system. There's a generalized disinclination to advance finance to foreign invested enterprises. And there is also a paucity, a lack of legitimate channels to discussion and engagement with government. Foreigners are really on the back foot when it comes to that. In fact, Chinese players in their own economy have a hard time doing that as well. And why do I say that corruption in a place like China is in certain respects like a rational response to the environment? Well, the country has not yet developed anything remotely like the rule of law. So in those circumstances, what you do what the Chinese call cohosted, depend upon relationships to get your business done. That's of course not just in China, this is done. If you go and read the annual report of Transparency International, you will see an awful lot of countries which suffer from a lack of transparency, and that is usually reflected as well in a concomitant increase in the level of corruption. My advice to clients has always been to steer completely clear of this everywhere you can. That's easy to say. How do you inculcate these values in your workforce? Well, obviously training, obviously engagement, deep engagement with people. There's no point just building a factory in China, one 30 seconds away. There's no point in building a factory, putting in the technology, putting in 2 or 3, 4 or 5 foreign managers, hiring the workforce and saying, right, we've got some rules against corruption. They're posted here in the office, problem solved. Well, it doesn't work that way. I had a client who will go nameless, but who had operations, manufacturing and distribution operations in 31 of 31 provinces in the People's Republic of China. They were completely committed to fighting corruption in their business. But do you think they managed to eradicate it entirely? Of course not. It's very dangerous for them there in terms of personal exposure. It's also very hazardous in terms of the long reach of legislation. So it's not something that one should just accept, but you can't just snap your fingers and make it go away. So I would say if you, maybe I'll tantalize a little bit for further discussion when we take Q&A. There's no easy road to dealing with this. Many mistakes will be made along the way. People, local hires of great goodwill will get it wrong because they emerge from their own environment and they're doing what needs to be done to make things work in China. Unacceptable, of course, for international business. So your challenge then is to devise a way to give meaningful direction, meaningful example, and meaningful engagement on these issues. It's very, very difficult. But I think I won't say anything more about that right now. Chinese corporates for whom I act in the West and elsewhere also have big problems with cultural understanding. They also don't get the environment that they're finding themselves operating in when they go overseas now. I saw this, almost a mirror image of Western befuddlement in China on the part of Chinese businesses doing business outside of China. It's hard for everybody. So I guess my one message, and I'll stop after this, is to say do not underestimate culture for the sake of the spreadsheets. Culture comes first, in my view. If you don't have a cultural understanding of your colleagues in the places where you invest, your customers, your suppliers, your regulators, if you don't understand how they operate, how they think, you won't have any success at all. And the same, of course, goes through advising people from other cultures coming into our culture. It may look obvious to us how things work. It's not very obvious to me. So I guess that must be 5 minutes. I'll stop there.
You just wait there. I'm sure if you may. Any questions?
Oh, sorry, we're doing that.
Just before we move to the next speaker. We've got a lawyer in the room.
I'm recovering a little bit.
What is sitting? So, you know, you've got friend advice here.
How shy are people going?
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that you believe that, well, talking about corruption, it's also talking about coaching.
Could you speak up a little bit, please? Good.
Can you now?
Yes.
Yeah. So you mentioned talking about corruption is also talking about coaching, and you also mentioned Boishi, which is embedded on the Chinese culture. But when you're looking into all the BRICS countries, and this topic, but these are speciality. When we're talking about all the BRICS countries born in Chinese, you also have that kind of culture and that kind of corruption embedded on the culture.
Yeah.
But with the social media, with the internet, actually, the way things are today, where actually information spreads so quick, information spreads so fast. And if you look back at the case of Brazil, where for the past couple of years they have just kind of came out with one of the biggest corruption scandals of all times. And you see international companies getting fined and getting, well, basically abused of the internet because they actually took part on kind of getting into that culture of Brazil of really paying for actually services or well, having taken advantage by paying, but something that if you do look at the culture, is part of the Brazilian culture, it's part of what people believe it should be done. But a lot of companies, by actually getting along with it, have been extremely, well, had their reputation extremely damaged. Where do you think is the line between taking part, accepting, and, well, getting into that culture of corruption and stepping yourself outside? Because sometimes, as is in China, as in Brazil, as in India, if you don't pay, sometimes you don't get that work done.
Yeah. Well,
Where do you think the line sits?
I can't speak for the Crown Prosecution Service here. I'm showing the magistrate, so I really can't speak for the Crown Prosecution Service here at all. But small emoluments and social gifts are usually excluded in most countries' codes of corruption. They're excluded from the purview or they don't fall into the sorts of behaviors which are targeted by anti-corruption codes. So I think the ordinary sort of social exchange of pleasantries, gifts, even dinners, which can be a little bit sensitive in China because the Chinese themselves, Chinese officials in particular, worry very much if they accept hospitality these days. After years of demanding very high levels of hospitality, actually, now getting quite worried because of the anti-corruption drive. But for most of us in countries outside of those sorts of difficult places, our own national codes of corruption and bribery and anti-bribery do not concern themselves with low-level things. I think we usually know when corruption is taking place. If you pay money to anyone to procure a favor, it's corruption, of course. If you deposit money in somebody's Swiss bank account, or pay the school fees for their children in a nice school in London, is corruption. I think this is quite clear. If you have them stop off in Hawaii on their way to Chicago, play a couple of weeks of golf, etc., as this is a true story, that is corruption. That's not changing lanes. You raise an interesting point, though, which is about national mood and resentment, and I'm paraphrasing what you said, but the public is now engaged around these issues, and probably in a pretty hypocritical way, of course, because the public lives and breathes their own petty adjustments and compromises with this system as well. But foreigners are good targets, easy targets, in some cases justified targets, actually, in many cases not, has to be said. But that's the environment that we live in, so there's no point complaining about it. The fact is, foreigners are more under the spotlight, more exposed, and more likely to find themselves on the wrong end of an accusation. It's very difficult to go out and do business overseas. When you add to that, in a place like China raises their margins, the quasi-impossibility of really competing nose to nose, head to head with domestic Chinese counterparts, domestic Chinese competitors, becomes very, very difficult. Essentially, for many foreign invested enterprises in China, the key to success has either been to go in as part of the supply chain for their own customers who go to China, follow them in, serve them, or to produce or manufacture for export and do it that way. But actually competing on the ground in the domestic sectors is, in most cases, extremely difficult.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. If there's one more quick question before we move on to Matthew.
This gentleman in the third row.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for your. Thanks. Thank you very much. My question is, because you've mentioned the concept of culture, how does loyalty come in the context of China?
Loyalty is critical. It's a relationship based. I'm going to permit myself to make a few generalized comments about China. I think after 7 years in Beijing, breathing a lot of other people's smoke, sitting through an awful lot of banquets, I think I'll let myself generalize just a wee little bit. Loyalty to one's own group as defined, could be clan, could be family, could be professional colleagues, work colleagues. There's a very finely developed group consciousness in China. Of course, it's not the only culture to present that. I did a number of transactions in Africa, and as in my postgraduate studies, I did African law, actually, so I became quite interested in how things work there. You can imagine some of the difficulties between one group, the Chinese with their group think, and another group, Africans in various places with their group think as well. It's made for some very interesting moments. Loyalty is strong, it's a bulwark and a defense against a heartless and pitiless world. That's why I was saying earlier that some of the behaviors which we castigate and criticize, yeah, okay, they may be wrong, but they're also rational responses to the environment. In the absence of a strong state, China has a powerful state, but it's not really strong, it's brittle. It doesn't actually help people at the local level very well. It's good at doing things like building aircraft carriers and that sort of thing. It's not that good actually at distributing social services or enforcing building codes in earthquake zones, that sort of thing. So China, like many other places in other continents as well, people have to rely on their own Guanxi circles, their own relationship circles. You might have a Guanxi wherever you or someone else in the room might be from. But the concept is not that different. And by Guanxi, I don't mean, oh, I know that person, we exchange business cards and we've had a drink together. That's not Guanxi. Guanxi properly construed is social capital. You don't get capital very easily. You can lose it or dilute it or diminish it as well if you take it too lightly. So it's a serious social attribute and has to be understood properly in order to do anything about it. I hope I've answered your question.
If not, I'll think Doctors, tell me come back. Or
You have
okay,
the floor.
Andrew, thank you very much. Just at this point, thank you for warming this debate, and I'm going to now. I don't know whether she's going to stand in front
No,
of
I don't like to be behind things.
free range with that. If at any point that doesn't feel like it's working at the back, sometimes not easy to catch up here, just put your hand up at the back.
The other one is working as well.
I have a very loud voice, so if at any point it's becoming deafening the microphone, please let me know. Good evening, everybody. So, as introduced, I run global sales for Capgemini's digital business. We define digital as customer experience, insights and data, operations, artificial intelligence, and all innovation services. Today, it accounts for approximately 30% of our business, and high fives all around, is growing really aggressively. Yes. So in terms of my contribution for food for thought for our discussion this evening, I thought that I'd give you my 4 top lessons learned, and you'll have to pay for more of them. My 4 top lessons learned from our client experience and my own experience of building a very successful, profitable growth platform at Capgemini and also my previous organizations. So lesson number 1 is that customer is king. Organizations that are succeeding through intelligent use of digital, and I underline the word intelligent, because digital is not a business outcome. Let's crack that myth straight away. Anyone who comes in to us client-wise or in our own business and says, oh, I need some digital, please. Now we're thinking that's great from a sales perspective, but digital is one of those terms that is so broad as to be nearly meaningless, which is fantastic as a sales executive, but from a business perspective, it is a little bit ridiculous. So we found it very useful to boil these down to simple lessons learned. And organizations that are doing this well understand that digital represents a great opportunity to push your customer truly at the heart of your business and use that customer context, insight and understanding to then form the way in which you shape your global business. Be that entry into new markets, be that introduction of new products and services, be that the creation of a market-making, world-beating employee experience and workforce, which might comprise humans and robots. Second lesson is power of the crowd. There are no lonely soldiers in digital, both from a change management perspective and also digital represents a very different opportunity for partner relationship management and also for ecosystem management. So in this space, in the context of global business, we talk an awful lot now about ecosystems. And for myself, I'm cutting my cost of entry and doing business in multiple regions and countries in which I operate by creating very different ecosystems at the customer-facing part of our business. Now, what do I mean by an ecosystem? What's in it? Well, instead of, in very simple terms, instead of, say, hiring all of these full-time employees myself, I'm creating ecosystems or partnerships with youth agencies, with mobile agencies, with creative agencies for all our customer-related pieces, with artificial intelligence experts, with some universities that we collaborate. And they're all forming part of our ecosystems. So too are we bringing together some of our clients that work in very different industries, for instance insurance and retail, that want to come together to go, you know what, digital must represent a different opportunity for a business model creation between our 2 industries. What would that look like? So power of the crowd, number 1, to bring together very different ecosystems, but also how you go about creating a very different employee experience. And one of the things I always say internally at Capgemini and to our clients is that when you talk about customer experience and you talk about digitization, you have to also think about employee experience because people still make it happen. So power of the crowd. Number 3, you can't avoid the quants. If I had £1 for every time someone says to me, oh, or some of the agencies in particular that we introduced to be part of our ecosystem, and they say, oh, but you can't put a business case on that because, you know, it's digital, we're testing things. No, that's not going to fly. In this space, people who are succeeding at it, organizations who are succeeding, understand that digital represents a very different way in which to measure and to conceive of value, how value is created, how it is measured, and how value is returned at shareholder and shareholder value is returned. Because digital is breaking down silos within organisations and is changing the way in which, for certain board level KPIs, such as return on marketing investment, the way in which that KPI is delivered today and tomorrow is very different than yesterday. And then my last and final point before we open to questions and get on to listen to everybody else is about people still make it happen. I cannot stress this enough, and Andrew touched on it as well on the cultural points, that this space is about huge change. And an awful lot of the language in it is characterised by a language of fear, but actually it is all about possibility, and people still make it happen. So as you can imagine, I'm engaged in an awful lot of discussions about the future of work and will AI and automation basically take the human component out of workforces. Yes, there is an evolution in terms of what humans do and what machines do, but that does not mean that human experience is going to be completely cannibalized. Rather, it's about what opportunities this digitization represents to do more low-value, process-driven tasks better, quicker, faster. But the emotional and social intelligence that humans bring to things, and the way in which that need to create human interpersonal connection. I could tell you so many stories, some hilarious, some less hilarious, about our experimentations in this space that works well with time constraints in it. So 4 things then. Customers came, power of the crowd, don't ignore the wants, people still make it happen. Any questions? Yes? Oh, sorry, Chair.
Oh, that's fine, you're doing great.
Hi. I'm actually currently writing my master thesis on this topic at Cranford University. My question would be, you mentioned a lot about customer experience, customer comes first. So, no, it's not working. Yeah.
I can hear you though, crack on.
What are, in your opinion, are the new technologies creating this new customer experience, and how would they do that?
Do you not know the answer to that already for your thesis?
No.
Oh, I better hope I'm not ever reviewing that thesis. I'm not going to spend too long of everyone's time telling you something you can look at Google with respect. But the 4 of those technologies, and I'll stick with my 4 are artificial intelligence, automation, digital marketing, advanced analytics. And by advanced analytics, I mean the combination of customer value analytics with enterprise analytics. And if you think about that afterwards, that really should be your thesis. You get a distinction if you talk about thinking about that interplay between those 2. And if you give me, if you publish a book, I can take some credits. Yes?
How do you calm the anxiousness of many how do you overcome the anxiousness of many of your customers to become a digital organization? I guess because many organizations don't want to see the reality and have fear to do this and think this whole transformation will take too many resources.
That's a fair point. But actually, I start by saying not every organisation should be a digital organisation. And when you look at your organisation, not every part of it should be digitalised. There are certainly parts of, say, I do an awful lot of work in the financial services industry. There are certainly parts of investment banking or core operating models that I wouldn't be putting near digitalisation. So that's number 1. But secondly, in terms of reassuring people, I said, look, the old rules of good business still apply. Know your customer. How do you measure value? How do you sell more shoes? Bruce Penny wants to know doing shoes. Very sad times there now. Next time before you visit those down. Promises with witnesses. But that's just about an also point that how do you measure value and what does your business do? If your business is selling you more shoes today and you think it's selling more shoes tomorrow, focus on that, and then how does digital help you or hinder you, or how do you intelligently combine it with more traditional capability? I think, and that's we're going to move away from the very confusing language in this space as well. I've written an article on this. It's freely available on our website.
I will read it.
Excellent. Anything to any comments about it?
Hi, yeah, kind of hopping onto that. Basically, in the B2B space, how largely would you think that digitization and digital will change everything?
Big question. I also do quite a lot of work with consumer products companies. And digital is presenting huge opportunity and huge threat within the consumer products industry. And we actually also done a case study on our website with one of my favourite clients, the consumer products company, where we completely changed with them how they deliver marketing services to their end consumers, and also how they cut their cost of change and investment in new markets by heavy use of proof of concepts and experimentation, and then very quickly deploying what works and has impact from that experimentation across the global business, number one. They're also made big impact in terms of supply chain transparency and in terms of traceability, but also throughput in terms of connected products and services. I'm really going to have to direct you to our research papers so I could get going on this topic now. We have to hear from the other speakers.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Next. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maggie, that was excellent. And next is Liz.
Right.
Would you like to?
Carry on. I'm a bit worried about the
Do you want me to-
Can I actually take one? Oh, no, everyone.
Good woman, Liz. You're well
Lizzie, do you want to speak in front of the lectern here, or would you prefer?
I'm fine here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the microphone.
Okay.
Is it all right?
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, good afternoon. So I'm the marketing director and have the honour to do that for an amazing business called BCS. We have 22 offices across 17 countries. And I've always enjoyed working for and running businesses that are going through growth. That really gets my motor running. And I thought I'd share with you some of the things that we do as a management team to get people excited about the future and how to engage a management team in setting big goals. So what we tend to do is, we do this with our international teams, we do this everywhere, and it pretty much works. Some countries we do it with wine, and it works better. Other countries, sometimes we don't. But what we do is we close our eyes to start with, and I don't bother with that, not being live, but we close our eyes, and we just, for a while, take some time to think. And I don't know if you guys have noticed how busy life is. I mean, our work diaries, it's crazy busy. And sometimes just taking time out to think is really important. And we encourage people to just imagine the future. What does amazing look like? What does a goal that we can all get excited about look like? Where are we trading? What offices have we opened? Who are we employing? What kind of talent have we got working in our business? What kind of businesses are we now representing? Who have we won as customers? What kind of technology have we moved on to engage in? How are our processes and systems kind of morphing to be amazing? How's that impacting our organisation in growth, profitability, all of that stuff? And then we end up with this amazing picture of the future. And we don't let things like SMART goals, I don't know if you guys do you use SMART goals ever? Okay, great, love that. So none of that has a place in this kind of thinking. That comes much later. So we paint this amazing, exciting picture. We don't leave the room until everyone's smiling. Now, people don't get comfortable with that very easily. In fact, when I took over leading the team I lead now, there was all sorts of shifting around and wondering who the hell I was when I took over the position. It was a worry, and I'll tell you why it was a worry, because people didn't like the idea of setting massive goals because they thought there might be a chance they could fail. And what we've done over the years, and what I've done over the years in running teams, and people talk about this all the time actually, as if it's common. It's actually not. People don't love failure in business often. But actually, unless there's room to fail, and unless you create a culture that enables people to fail and learn from their mistakes. You never hit the great big goals based on dreams and aspirations, because sometimes you have to, well, in fact every time, you have to allow people to step outside of their comfort zones, to do things differently, to achieve amazing things. You know, if you want to grow something in a smart way and have small incremental improvements, then stick with smart. Don't step out your comfort zone and just get on with it and it'll be a very boring life, thank you. But if you want to do something amazing, we have to let people kind of, well, I think, encourage them to unleash their full talent. So that takes a special kind of leader. And I wanted to just share with you something that I do every day, because I think as a leader you have to be resilient, and you have to be consistent, and you have to be really trustworthy. You're not going to be massively emotive and be somebody different every day. So something that I do every day, I did this when I went blind, which is happened to me when I started my company. And it's been moved to something that's helped me manage work and home and all of the different ups and downs that we have in life. And that is to wake up in the morning and just think about all the things I'm really thankful for. So before I leave home to go into the office, and believe me, leadership really matters. People come to work for a manager and they also clear off because they hate their manager. So if we want to engage staff, this stuff really matters, how we behave as leaders. So I think about the things I'm thankful for. So I'm really thankful for my amazing family. I've got 2 wonderful children. I'm really thankful for the team that I have, just the best job managing these amazingly talented, funny people. I just love it. I'm thankful I've got an incredibly good-looking husband. So he says, anyway. But you see what you do in the morning before you leave work, before you leave home to go to work, is you start to add up the things you're thankful for. And we've got a hell of a lot to be thankful for here in this room. Just living here and being blessed to live in this country as women, and we just have so much to be thankful for. So we think about the things that we're thankful for, and we leave the office and we think, yes, my glass is half full. And you walk into the office and you go, come on guys, half a glass to go, we've made it. And we all get pretty excited about that. Whereas if you wake up in the morning and you think, he snored again last night, I will smother him if he does it again. And damn it, it's only Wednesday, I've got ages to go to the weekend. And I've got a meeting with the finance director. First thing, what could get worse? And you had it up, actually you've emptied out the glass. And you think, I'm going to go into the office today, I'm in a bad mood, I'll give them hell. Bring on the appraisals. Do you think people are really going to go for growth, be inspired, feel served by an inspirational leader? They absolutely don't. So thanks for listening to me.
Okay, thank you, Liz, for bringing us back to the world of joyous celebration. Okay, a couple of quick questions for Liz. Okay.
Thank you very much for your very touching, thoughtful words. You've raised very fundamental questions, very fundamental in the sense that it's real and it's important. With respect to business, how do you push ideas through people with the passion you have for your work?
I love that question. Thank you for asking it. Do you know what? I don't push anything. And this was a big learning curve for me in my career. But it was understanding that actually I don't know all the answers. I used to be massively arrogant and think that I knew everything. And what I've changed my mind on is that, do you know what, if I've made a decision for someone to join my team, or one of my esteemed colleagues has recruited somebody, and they're pretty damn good. You know, if they've got a job working for BCMS, and we've recruited a seriously talented person, I call them, the acronym I use is a top cat. So they are a totally outstanding person, capable of amazing things. So my job actually isn't to push my ideas on them, it's to expect them as totally outstanding people capable of amazing things to give me their ideas. You know, my job as a leader is to coach them, ask them clever questions, push them to their limits, make them think as hard as they possibly can from every angle. But actually, we employ some amazingly talented people with these incredible brains. And what I've started to enjoy probably halfway through my career, and I'm gutted it took me that long, but it's how beautiful it is to watch somebody think, come up with the answer themselves. And do you know what, when they do that, the passion's there. I don't have to sell anything, I don't have to get them to be passionate. They're already passionate, it's their idea. They're accountable for it and they own it. And therefore they absolutely want to make sure that that happens. And if you are brave enough to empower them to let them come up with their ideas and implement them, you know, you end up with this dynamic, dangerously proactive workforce that just, you know, grow a business like a campus.
Question? Where's the microphone?
Hi. I absolutely 100% agree with your psychology and motivation. Could I think a bit of a wobble here? Because my own experience is exactly like yours. It's so important to keep people motivated. But I also know I live in a cyclical world, and some of the mining ventures I've been in, it's been very important, besides motivating people to look on the upside, getting them to risk crisis management. Because not to go into that sector, you can become endried. Do you sort of cover that, or do you focus mainly on the motivational upside?
No, absolutely. And I think there's something about the reality. So I think getting people to understand where they currently are, where teams currently are, what all of our issues are, you know, the stepping stones of reality. Being good at self-assessment for whether it's an individual or a team is critical. And just as important, in fact, you can't go for a big goal unless you understand where you are. And so I think, you know, getting the reality there is really important. How can you possibly go from here to there if you don't understand where you are on the journey? Does that answer that question?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, Liz. Okay, we come to our final, as I said, last but certainly not least, Mike.
Hi, good evening everyone. Tough ask to follow, fair ask to follow, but what's interesting is the commonality of the topics, what they talked about. I can relate to just about everything that was in there. So I was given a brief to talk for 5 minutes about something that I've spent the last 20 years on, global business. It's a pretty tough thing to do. So what I'm going to try and do is break it down into 3 points. But before I start, I just want to get one thing quite clear, okay? Mike talked about Castle-sponsored Euro 2008, 2012, the World Cup in 10, in South Africa 14, Brazil, David Beckham. The rumour in Castle was we only did that because Mike Johnson liked football, okay? And that was a terribly malicious rumour, okay? Now the fact that I did go to all these games and meet all these famous people, and my wife had a photograph taken with David Beckham, which replaced all our wedding photographs, has nothing to do with my... And if you're interested at the end about how you get a return on global sponsorship, how we thought about and did that, it was an integral part of our global strategy, really. how we did it, and it really changed the way we do business. So the three things I want to cover. The first thing is I'm not an academic. I do all the kind of qualifications that most of us do, but what I'm going to talk about is based on 20 years. So you'll not find this in a book, you'll not find this as a theory. It's based on just practical experience of hard knocks, getting some things right, getting some things wrong, okay? The second thing I'd say is, we talk about a global business, and in the world we live in today, I was on a telephone call in Trafalgar Square before I had my wife and I was doing a vacation. I had a guy in Colombia on the phone, I had a lady in Rome, I had somebody in Mumbai, and he's sitting there thinking, really? And I'm sat in Trafalgar, and that's the global world we're in, so the connectivity is really there. But don't get carried away. We are different countries, we have different cultures, and the way you think about business, you can have a global model to some degree, but having people from that country working for you. And when I left Castle after 6 years as CEO, one of the things I was the most proud of was every country in the world, 60 odd countries, was run by somebody from that country. If you'd gone back 10, 15 years, there'd have been mostly Brits, expats, yeah? So big thing, and the other thing is our partners. We have a partner in Thailand called Mostly, major corporation. Had never been in lubricants before. We struck a partnership with them 80 years ago. 80 years ago. And when I went to see the family, they said, Mike, let me tell you, you have the know-how, we have the know-who. So having people like that, and this is not, we'll help you get them on the back and avoid the kind of the rules. This was quite the opposite. We'll help you get done in business. So when you think about the global model, you need that local feel, that partnership, and you need the kind of people from the country in there. And the third thing I say to you is, I joined Castrol in 1992. Castrol had been around since 1899, over 100 years. And their first venture overseas was 1917 in India. So this was an organisation when I joined, had about 80 years of international experience. And the UK was a very, very small part of that business by then. They did a brilliant job. But the model they had was what we would call a multi-domestic model, okay? So the Castrol brand logo, if you know what Castrol is, it's a lubricant, okay? Goes in your car, goes in ships, it goes in planes, goes in bikes. It's a lubricant business. And basically, they had the Castrol logo, the brand, the imagery, but just about everybody was allowed to do their own thing. So the CEO in each country had his own blend plan, he did things on the bottles. Great for getting that local ownership, terrible from an efficiency point of view. And the model that worked 50 years ago was clearly not the way for the 21st century. I was also one multi-domestic. I was appointed to the global head of marketing in 1998 to bring this together into a more international framework. And what we created, I didn't know I was doing this at the time, we created what I would now describe as an international model. Yeah? So we moved from multi-domestic. What we did is we created 4 big regions. And we said, Asia Pacific, you're going to have to work more as a region. Get your brands sorted out, get some commonality. The Americas, the Europes of this world, you're going to have to think about how you do that. Bigger global presence, yeah, in terms of the marketing teams and the centralized idea of it, but it was still an international model. When I took over as global CEO 7, 8 years ago, we moved it to a global model. Now again, you can debate the terms and how we describe it and all that. But the global model, because what happened is when I was appointed CEO, the profitability had fallen from about 600 million to about 250. BP bought us, they brought great things, and we were not giving them what they wanted. And basically, I was appointed, having run Asia and Europe and Asia, pretty much was to put them in a good shape to sell. Okay? I wish I'd bought it, by the way, at the time. I could have got it for probably about $3 billion. If you try to buy Castrol now, probably about 20 billion would be the market value. So, had I done it, had I the foresight, I wouldn't be standing here doing this presentation, okay? But I didn't. But what I did do, and here's the key, the danger with global models is you treat everybody the same. You give everybody 10% growth this year. Put a little bit of investment in. I can grow the market and grow my profit by 10%. Okay, here's the 10% extra cost. The downside is, halfway through the year, half of the countries come back and say, Mike, we're not going to hit our numbers. Yeah? The downside now is, all these countries that could have invested that money in growth haven't because you're too late. So the best thing we ever did, and we did three things, this was the first and the most important. We created a global strategy and created three groups: growth, core, and optimize. And we said it would growth, and that was the BRICS market trajectory, but it was also people like Vietnam. It was also Thailand, countries that you may not have thought. And we set a financial framework out that said, you will get the maximum investment on the ground, you will get the best returns, we don't need you to give us the most profit back now. But within 5 years, you've got to hit a target, which in those days was about 50 million profit. It's now about 100 to be a growth. But they got that invested no matter what happened. So they started the budget process, you're first. Second is the core markets. UK, Germany, Malaysia. Big profit earners, you can't afford them to go backwards, but they're never going to give you that level of growth. 2 or 3%. They got the next level of investment. And then basically, whatever you had left, when you about this is the 40, 50 other markets, which we call optimize. Now let me tell you, nobody wants to be an optimizer, okay? So I have to say, guys, okay, great, you're in growth, you're in their core, everybody puts their heads down and thinks, please, Mike, don't tell me I'm optimized. Because optimize basically was your cash cows. They were the smaller markets that were never going to get to the size, and basically we expected a higher return on capital, higher return on sales, because we were taking cash out of these markets to invest into the big players. Now here's the most interesting thing that happened. If you ask me in predict, I said, growth would be fine, which they did. China went from losing money to being the number one profit earner now in the cash world, making over 300 million. The core all continued to do pretty well. Guess what happened to the optimized? They didn't crash and burn. They actually all did well. Because once you establish the model, once they could clear the level of costing we're going to get, the level of, once you clear what their role was, they didn't half adapt that model. And a number of countries that were optimized grew so much that they moved into core and growth. So I guess the big message to you is, if you're thinking about a global strategy, don't treat everybody the same. Give some clear focus on your investments and your model, and be ruthless. Why? Because everybody will tap you on the shoulder and say, Mike, just this year, we're going to 10%, please handle that. You can't do that. You have to stick to that model, you have to make the investment, and you have to take a fairly hard-ass approach to it. But I promise you, we went from $2.4 billion of profit in 6 years. Prior to me doing that, we made $7.2 billion profit in the 6 years after doing that. And that was at the heart of what we do. I don't know how I have no time now. Questions?
It's not completely related to what you talk, but it's something that I'm wondering here. You mentioned that you basically divided into three your markets.
Yeah.
When we're talking about sponsorship, when you look into World Cup, Olympic Games, Cristiano Ronaldo and Beckham, like was mentioned, you're not talking about very low amount of investment, you're talking about very high investment in terms of sponsorship and in marketing. Thinking on your approach, where you divide your markets into three, however, your marketing budget is clearly global because you're looking into events that actually reach a globalized kind of population. How do you measure the influence of these specific sponsorship agreements into your specific markets? Those three that you actually divided on.
So great question. And here's the problem with the earlier ones I talked about. The multi-domestic, I just said UK, Germany, all you guys don't contribute to the World Cup. They said no way. Mike, we know our market to very difficult to get people to look at. Even in the international model, the regions all have their view, right? Once you go to the global model, you set your global marketing program based on the growth. The reason we moved from motorsport to football was because our big competitors, Shell and Mobil, spent a lot of money on motorsport. And the problem is, it costs you an absolute fortune, and it has a very small target market. Outside of a few countries, not everybody's in the Formula 1. What's the biggest sport in the world? Football. Where was our growth going to come from? Asia. What do the Asians love? Football, right? We went into China, we had a 5% brand awareness, 5%. One of the big Chinese television companies got the sole rights to sponsor the World Cup, to televise the World Cup in 2010. We went along to them and said, how about we partner with you? Because we might another 6 million to do, right? And we already spent a lot of money in fun. 2 years later, our brand awareness, 35%. And as I said, China lost us money, and China's now the biggest. But I'm absolutely 100% convinced we would never achieve that without the World Cup. So when we do these sponsorships, you say they're global, they are, but they have specific targets. Because football's over in the US, we sponsor the NBA. Because it's not massive in Southern Asia, we sponsor the World Cricket, the World Cup for Cricket 2000. So we were very clear about where our targets were, but because we had a global model, we were able to leverage the value of that. And by the way, the 2 World Cups, I won't tell you how much we spent, but it was a lot of money, it was close to 100 million. You'd pay 5 to 10 times more now to get the World Cup than we paid. So, you know, at the time it was a good investment, but it was about building brand awareness, about building, you know, customer participation of the brand, and a little bit, by the way, also, which people underestimate, is motivation of the team. Actually, if you work for a company that sponsors the World Cup, and your customers from China can win a trip to South Africa, and you're going to take them there and bring them up to being the highest level, it does not get everybody motivated and fired up. But by the way, I can tell you, we made about 2.5 times return on both World Cups from our investment, because we had clear targets before we started, by the way. You can't set the targets afterwards. Change a bit. But we had them set. But again, what I do now, maybe not because the cost of the World Cup now, plus the FIFA stuff and the brand in it, probably not.
If I could just add in there, out of curiosity, what's your return investment in terms of time?
2.5%, 2.5 times for the investment we put in. And by the way, when we calculated the investment, we said it's X million plus 100 million for the fee. And then we said, what about the marketing support? So we built all that in. So the marketing activity in China, the brand support in Germany, taking customers to the world, that was all built in our calculations. We got about 2.5 times our money back, which is a hell of a good investment. On something like, because the sponsorship, I joked about people who like Johnson like football. I heard about 70% of sponsorship is done by the chief exec's favourite hobby. Okay? It was my favourite hobby, but that was a coincidence, okay? So, just again.
Do you set up the growth targets in partnership with the respective market units, or did you more dictate them? And did the respective market units compare their targets, and have they been made jealous and say, this market unit didn't have to go as much as we do, and it was unfair?
So the answer is yeah. So I mean, great point again, both great points. The one thing I would like to say to you, the hardest thing about the global marketing and global branding is who makes the decision. I tell you, that's the killer, right? You people live with growth, and live with core, and live with optimize, and then you say, well, we're going to make the decisions in the centre. Right. Then you say, no, we're not making the centre. China, you can make all your own decisions right from the centre. So actually, so we developed a matrix model, right? We're in a matrix model. So what we would do, and so I talk about it, take passenger car, all these cars driving around here, they've got oil in the engine, okay? We would look at the top 6 or 8 markets in the world, the United States, China, Germany, and we would put a global team together from the central marketing team, and they would decide the strategy for the passenger car. They would decide on the brand, they would decide on what they wanted to do at the World Cup. So I use an expression called think global, act global, okay? That's opposite of what everybody else uses. If you go up, you probably got something too young. 25, 30 years ago, there was a big expression, think global, act global. I don't like that, because that seems to me like somebody in the centre thinks global, then tells all you could be heads to do. No, think global. Bring China into the conversation, bring them in, have the debate, but once you agree, everybody aligns. Yes. There's no rules. And if you don't align, you go. And I'm sorry, but if you can't align around, so that's how and then you have a different one for motorcycle. So motorcycle markets, India, Vietnam, because they were top markets. So there was different groups like this. made up of different countries. Now, if you're Belgium and Holland and some of these, you didn't make anything because you were just never big enough. So you go, but you did get the benefit of the global market, the World Cup, and you're still involved in that. Seriously, the hardest thing in any global organisation, who makes the decisions. And no matter where you decide, somebody's unhappy. I promise you. I have never found the perfect model where everybody says, Mike, we all love this is perfect. Right? So you kind of find some kind of compromise here. Yeah.
Okay, we'll take the last question and then we'll open it up for some general.
Just a quick Mike. When your sales team set the revenue targets, okay, and the budget, do you then allow them in each region to do their own thing, or are you moving towards what some of the international companies are doing, bringing psychologists in and saying, right, it takes so many minutes to have a conversation for your customer, and therefore we will drive our sales force, we'll get maximum out of them by following this sort of pattern of visits and things like that. Do you allow them free range, or are you changing?
So, we didn't necessarily bring psychologists in, but I'm a big believer in training of all kinds. Every one of us can get better with some kind of training. So we would use major organisations, sometimes in countries, sometimes regional, to do global training of our sales force, best practice, best methods, prospect new customers, all that. The gentleman here asked the question, which is partially your question, so I didn't really fully answer your question. What we did is, coming into the budget phase, we'd say, what do we expect out of China this year? Motorcycle oil, 5% growth, passenger car, 15. We would set that target. Now, China would then come out and say, come on guys, you're getting a bit unreasonable here, here's the way, and we'd have a proper debate. You need a target that people can buy into. The trouble is, if you say, tell me what your target is, it's way too low. If you do it from the centre, it's way too high. So it was a negotiated process around that. So, you know, they had a say in it, and your point around, yes, we did a lot of training, and the other thing about the global one, sharing best practice. If we had something work in Australia, which really was a great thing, that network's job was to say, right guys, this is brilliant, it's really grown Australia's passenger car business, and we will share it again. That was something we were never very good at. We were really starting to get very good at that. Because again, in the global business, don't reinvent the wheel. Yeah? If you've got some great ideas, leverage it around the world. Sometimes it takes a bit of a swing. Somebody, Andrew, the first thing he said about culture, I have an expression, right? Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Okay? Culture, everybody thinks global businesses are built on strategy. If 80% of a strategy is its implementation, right? You can have the best strategy in the world, if it doesn't get implemented, forget it. And it gets implemented with the right culture. Yeah? So I passionately believe in culture in a business, in getting that self-belief, yeah, that people in there. As you can see, I don't have very strong views. I take it too slow with
Okay, thank you, Mike. And there's a lesson for everyone. We get somebody from Sunderland talking about football, you know where we're going. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take a couple of final questions. I know we've overrun very slightly, but it's okay, the canopies won't be going anywhere. It's not informally, so that's great. So if we take a final couple of questions for the panel, if you want to direct it to a particular panelist, please let me know as you ask the question. So, open questions.
Or one marking with another. Thanks for all your contributions this evening, found it really fascinating. A question I had that I thought covers the broad range is that we've been talking a lot about global business. Obviously, the UK productivity gap, we have an issue with the north-south divide. There's a new computer centre opened in Sunderland that's notoriously under-occupied. And it makes me think that digital is becoming more important. Costs are becoming more important. Do you see a future in the UK where we might be able to narrow that divide?
Who wants to take that one? Yeah, I know the least on this panel about digital business, but what I do know a little bit about is education. Having been educated in a couple of continents and having worked in the university sector here as a member of the Board of Trustees of this university for 9 years at City University, and having taught part-time whilst practicing full-time, taught Chinese law at SOAS and Cambridge College. So I've been banging around the universities, and what is clear to me is this is about investment in education. Now, nobody likes the word austerity, apparently that's not what's taking place. I don't actually care what we call it. We're underinvested in education. You know, Northumbria used to be, after all, far ahead of southern England. Of course, that was 1,200 years ago. So I feel a little shy as a dean of giving lessons in English history, but that is a fact. So there's nothing inherently about the North or Northerners that will keep them from erasing them. Let's not deny, but we need to invest as a country. Otherwise, it's just kind of a vicious cycle, and it will get worse and not better. That's my view. That's an editorial. Maggie, would you want to?
Agree on the points for the education. I would add that if I look at the skills that we're sourcing in the UK market, because UK is just one of my markets, I just happen to live here. I'm not an expert on the North-South divide. I can only talk about it in the context of my clients, and I don't think any of them would like if I shared their particulars. But the skills that we're sourcing in the UK is that, for digital specifically, is that we're seeing a lot of very strong technical skills in terms of analytics, in terms of services insight, in terms of the type of skills that people have for like management consulting. We hire a lot of management consultants, even though we're mostly a technology outsourcing firm. So I really think it comes back to education. But if I look at the planning that I do in terms of resource planning, there's a reason that I put so much of my own personal time into. I do more speaking in the UK market than any other market, and a lot of that is down to there's a particular skill set and a particular type of curiosity from this market, that when you put that together with, say, the delivery engine that we have, say, within our Indian operations, we employ 110,000 people in India, and if I look at the type of skills that we're hiring there, but this point on education, if you look at what the skill sets that are technical skill sets that are coming out of STEM skills, coming out of Asian universities, compared to a lot of Western universities, you can see where the money's going to go in terms of a lot of the supply stuff.
Okay, I'm going to keep it fluid just to give other people an opportunity for questions. Anybody have any other questions? I'll bring the other two speakers in.
Thank you for an interesting debate this evening. I've heard quite a lot about cultural sensitivity and adaptations in varying ways. What I'm curious about is whether anyone has experience of avoiding a cultural imperialism in the case of compliance. And so I'm dealing with a global organisation at the moment with the European data protection regulations being revised. And we have a number of suppliers of software and services in the US and outside the EU. We obviously have to comply with EU regulations on data protection, and yet we have organisations and parts of our business operating in a very culturally different setting in the US that doesn't, for instance, doesn't cover the EU rules and regulations. So how do you avoid that sort of cultural pluralism when you do have to impose your own standards, and yet you want that cultural sensitivity and diversity?
I mean, I think this is a really important question. In the pastoral world, we weren't as sort of strict on some of these kind of topics, right? It was a kind of business for a lot of years, yet BP came in, changed us completely, right? And BP had very strong ethical standards right across the whole thing. And I was based in Asia in about 2003. They said, right, we're going to stop all facilitation payments around the world. So again, for everybody's definition of facilitation payment, we would have a ship coming into Bangkok Harbour. The local port authority would say, okay, look guys, $25 we'll get your shipping tomorrow. And everybody, you just pay in 25 and that's how it's done. This happened all around Asia for all these little things. BP said, no, it's finished, nothing, zero. We said, well, now they get anything delivered. And I'm telling you something, within 12 months, the policy was in place, the business was normal, and it was actually very interesting because people then started saying to us, we really like dealing with you guys, because you play it down the line. And some of our customers and suppliers used to go and sell their service and say, oh, we work for BP, we've got these really high standards, we're not allowed to do this. And they used it as a selling tool to differentiate themselves from other people. So if you ask my view, play it straight down the line, do not deviate from the law under any circumstance. You can get through it. There's always a reluctance internally, and particularly from within the country, the business of what I never saw any business fall apart. We got to work it anywhere. Seriously.
Liz, would you like to, so you've got offices in 17 countries, I think you said.
Yeah, and we've got exactly the same challenge, so maybe we could meet up separately. But I guess where I would come from with it all, my plan, is that what I love about GDPR, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but what I love about it is the heart behind why it's being implemented, why we've got that new regulation, and ultimately it's about trust. And so for me, it comes back to values. And as a global organisation, what are our values? Do we want people to trust us? Do we want to be transparent? Do we want people to know exactly where, what we're doing with their data and where we're hosting it and why we've got it and what our plan is with that? And how we're going to use it. And we want to be, we are a trusted organisation, and I don't see anything wrong with implementing that across our whole business when it comes down to the core value of what it actually means. So that's going to be my strategy.
Okay.
I want to say one thing about that. I acted for a large multinational that did paints and coatings and things like that. I was acting for them in China. They had, quite rightly, they had an absolute prohibition on the kind of illicit payments that we discussed. I agree entirely with Mike's point. They asked me for advice because the question was, how are we going to get through with the development of our business here in this particular locality if we're not allowed to grease the palms of local officials, which I rather sternly advised them not to do. My answer to them was, well, why don't you find out what, in terms of social services, is most needed here? Let's build some kind of center for the kids. Let's put some money into the community like that. You're going to make the local party boss look really good. It's not a facilitation payment, it's not corruption in any way. It actually sets standards much higher for others as well. It's what they did. There were a few bumps along the road, just trying to get the thing constructed without having to fall into more corruption was itself a bit of a challenge and an adventure. But that's the way to do it, actually, is find a way to make those local authorities look good, satisfy some of their goals, even if you can't satisfy all of their goals.
Okay. I think we'll draw this to a close because our panel have been very patient and very generous with their time. We started with corruption and we didn't finish with corruption. But it was a very positive and uplifting end to it. So we had a fascinating sequence of talks, I'm sure you'll agree. Fascinating insights from Andrew on cultures and loyalty and the importance of that in doing business. With Maggie, the importance of digitisation and the also equal importance of social intelligence, emotional intelligence. I think we were all disappointed in the audience when you said you weren't going to get rid of the bankers with digitalisation, but nonetheless, I'm sure that's absolutely right.
FS is my biggest pipeline. You'll know her.
We won't go there. And Liz just brings us back to some very positive elements of leadership and importance of the basics of that. I've come to learn a new acronym, Top Cats, I think it was, wasn't it? Liz, so I need more Top Cats in my team, although I do have a number there already. But absolutely fascinating to hear a different leadership style. And of course, Mike, with a great story there to tell in terms of his experience turning business around in a very global way and in a very important way. But even more fascinating, perhaps, is anybody going to Mike's house and flipping through his photo album, will think he's married to David Beckham, which is more disturbing than any of the foreign stuff. But thank you very much. I'm sure you all join me in thanking the panelists for a fascinating talk. Also thank Ian and the CMI for co-hosting this event, and also Natalia at the back there who's pulled this all together and made it happen tonight. So thank you all for contributing to the debate. There's some drinks at the back, and the shoe canapes are there as well. So by all means, network and mingle and ask further questions as you need to. Thank you for your attention.